Multiple arrests have been made in connection with Matthew Perry's death. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada announced at a Thursday morning news conference that charges have been brought against two doctors, Perry's live-in assistant, and someone known as the ketamine queen, who allegedly helped supply him with ketamine before his death. A criminal investigation was launched after the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office determined Perry died due to acute effects of ketamine. The Friends star was found dead in his pool on October 28, 2023.
Federal charges filed against multiple people. The investigation revealed a broad, underground criminal network responsible for distributing large quantities of ketamine to Mr. Perry and others. This network included a live-in assistant, various go-betweens, two medical doctors, and a major source of drug supply known as the ketamine queen. We charged 5 defendants in this matter. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew what they were doing was risking great danger to Mr. Perry, but they did it anyways. In the end, these defendants were more interested in profiting off Mr. Perry than caring for his well-being.
Multiple agencies have been investigating Perry's death, including the Los Angeles Police Department, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the U.S. Postal Service, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California.
Perry fell back into addiction in the fall of 2023. According to investigators, Perry, who had been open about his addiction struggles, relapsed before his death. The actor became addicted to intravenous ketamine when he sought treatment for anxiety and depression. The doctors refused to increase his dosage, so he went elsewhere. As Matthew Perry's ketamine addiction grew, he wanted it more and he wanted it faster and cheaper. That is how he ended up buying from street dealers who sold the ketamine that ultimately led to his death. The 5 individuals charged are responsible for the death of Matthew Perry.
Who was charged in Perry's death? A press release from the DOJ reveals that 3 of the 5 individuals have already pleaded guilty or agreed to plead guilty. Here's who was charged: Jasveen Sangha, aka the ketamine queen. The indictment claims she provided the ketamine that killed Perry. She was arrested on Thursday and is awaiting arraignment. Dr. Salvador Plasencia, he's accused of distributing ketamine to Perry and the actor's live-in personal assistant outside the usual course of professional practice and without a legitimate medical purpose on at least 7 occasions. He was arrested on Thursday and is awaiting arraignment. Eric Fleming, he distributed the ketamine to Perry's assistant after obtaining it from Sangha. He pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine and 1 count of distribution of ketamine resulting in death. In court documents, he admitted to giving 50 vials of ketamine to Perry's assistant, half of them 4 days before Perry's death. Kenneth Iwamasa, Perry's live-in assistant, admitted to repeatedly injecting Perry with ketamine without medical training. He performed multiple injections on Perry the day the actor died. Iwamasa pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine causing death. Plasencia allegedly taught him how to inject Perry with ketamine. Dr. Mark Chavez, he admitted in his plea agreement to selling ketamine to Plasencia and has agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine. Sangha is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, 1 count of maintaining a drug-involved premises, 1 count of possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine, 1 count of possession with intent to distribute ketamine, and 5 counts of distribution of ketamine. If convicted of all charges, she faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years in federal prison and a statutory maximum sentence of life imprisonment. Plasencia is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to distribute ketamine, 7 counts of distribution of ketamine, and 2 counts of altering and falsifying documents or records related to the federal investigation. He faces up to 10 years in federal prison for each ketamine-related count, and up to 20 years in federal prison for each records falsification count. More details released in indictment. According to the press release, Plasencia conspired with Chavez about inventory, price, and availability of ketamine to sell to Perry and Iwamasa. Plasencia sent a text to Chavez about selling Perry ketamine and wrote, "I wonder how much this moron will pay, and let's find out." Beginning in mid-October, Iwamasa also procured ketamine from Fleming and Sangha, the press release states. After Perry's death made headlines, Sangha texted Fleming, "Delete all our messages." According to the indictment, Sangha was aware of the danger of ketamine as she sold the drug to another victim, Cody McClory, hours before he overdosed in August 2019. What is ketamine? Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects according to the DEA. Ketamine therapy is an increasingly popular mental health treatment and is legal for use by registered medical practitioners. Perry's autopsy report stated the actor was undergoing ketamine therapy to treat anxiety and depression. However, the coroner said the ketamine in his system at death could not be from that infusion therapy as it was administered by a doctor 1.5 weeks before his death. Ketamine is also a popular street drug and can be taken recreationally. It first gained popularity as a club drug in the 90s due to its psychedelic effects. The levels of ketamine in Perry's body at the time of his death were so high, it was in the range used for general anesthesia during surgery, according to the coroner. Other contributing factors in Perry's death. Perry's death was ruled an accident, drug and drowning related. The Los Angeles Medical Examiner announced drowning, coronary artery disease, and the effects of buprenorphine, which is used to treat opioid use disorder, were listed as contributing factors. Perry was candid about his years-long addiction to opioids. The manner of death was ruled an accident.